Welcome to Western Mass News at 6, everyone. I'm Chris Pisano. We half hour with a look at the latest headlines surrounding the coronavirus pandemic. The city of Springfield reports it's closing in on 800 cases of COVID-19. The wait for the unemployed, self-employed is over, as a system to file for unemployment is up and running as of today. And veterans at the Holyoke Soldiers Home are receiving a donation of iPads so they can communicate with family members during the pandemic. Even in the pandemic, crime hasn't come to a halt in Springfield. City officials taking time during this morning's COVID-19 press conference to address the deadly shooting on College Street from Friday. Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo joins us now live in Springfield with more. Audrey.
Chris, a bit of a departure from the usual topic at these meetings, but Springfield City Police Commissioner Cheryl Clapprood says that the shooting that happened, which killed one 22-year-old and injured several others, was drug and gang related. She says that the wounded people are currently not cooperating with police at this time. Springfield Police Commissioner Cheryl Clapprood says there was a deadly lack of social distancing Friday night on College Street. She says one person was killed, several wounded, and others arrested following a shooting. Even in the wake of a COVID-19 pandemic, Clapprood says the incident was drug and gang related.
The amount of money we seized Friday night tells me that it's a lucrative, illegal opportunity that they're still going to take advantage of.
Because of the continued threat of gang violence, Clapprood tells Western Mass News her goal is to focus more on deadly crimes than issuing fines for failure to socially distance, as seen in other communities.
The people who don't care about life and death certainly don't care about social distancing.
When the department does receive complaints for large gatherings, Clapprood says a simple reminder is enough to disperse the crowd.
The officers get on the PA, and so far, people have been abiding by our warnings.
Police say they're also more concerned about the spike in a very specific crime, initially delayed, but now posing threats behind closed doors.
The spike that I thought I would see in domestic violence, we didn't see right away. We certainly are seeing it now. Friday morning, instead of having 15 to 20 restraining orders we daily serve, we had 40.
Clapprood also expressed concern about the release of prisoners during the pandemic. Springfield Mayor Dominic Sarno stepped in to offer criticism of limited court activity and releasing suspects accused of dangerous crimes.
Why aren't the courts working? There's ways you can do it, with all due respect. We're out here every day, every night. Besides, it's our job. We have families too. But I don't understand certain institutions that are not open, that play a pivotal role.
Now, according to an order from the states, the courts had been closed except for emergency matters. Based on the state's website, they're actually due to reopen tomorrow on the 21st. All of this happening as the Springfield Police Department gave us an update today saying that they are operating without 10 individuals who are out for COVID-related reasons. Live in Springfield, Audrey Russo for Western Mass News.
Audrey, thank you for that live report. The Paycheck Protection program was set up to help small businesses stay open during the coronavirus pandemic. But within just 2 weeks, all that money was drained. Now efforts are underway in Congress to replenish the funds. Western Mass News reporter Sarah Granelli joins us live in Springfield after getting answers about what comes next. Sarah?
Chris, I spoke with Congressman Richard Neal over FaceTime today. He says what's under discussion in Washington is not only to help small businesses, the hospitals, but also testing of coronavirus. The coronavirus pandemic is sweeping across the nation, forcing businesses to close. Under the Paycheck Protection program, $349 billion were set aside for small businesses, a fund that was quickly drained in just 2 weeks.
This is a lifeline. Small businesses, they don't have the luxury of a lot of cash cushions that have been built in over the years. And instead, they relied very mightily on day-to-day and weekly operations. So I think that for the most part, as you look at what's happened, This has been a successful lifeline.
Lawmakers are now working on an agreement that will continue to help small businesses. Western Mass News spoke with Congressman Richard Neal over FaceTime. He explains what this new emergency small business lending program would look like if it gets passed.
So the revision here will take place, I hope, by Wednesday, in which we will add another $350 billion to the package, coupled with another $75 billion for our hospitals and $25 billion coronavirus testing.
The federal funds will make sure small businesses that need the money have it. Neal says it's a tool for small businesses to stay afloat.
If you keep your employees working, these loans are forgivable afterwards. So the key here was always the infusion of cash into the system, whether it was through the stimulus checks, hospital support, or the package that we put together for small business.
Springfield restaurant owner Nadeem Cashew already applied for the first wave of small business loans. He says it was a quick process that will help tremendously.
This is a perfect timing for it. You know, it kind of gives you a cushion to kind of have in the bank and know if you have any bills or any payroll or any expenses to be paid, at least you know you have that. You don't have to stress about where the money is coming up to keep the doors open.
The congressman says he hopes the new package will pass the House, the Senate, and then land on the president's desk by Friday. Live in Springfield, Sarah Gurnelli, Western Mass News.
Sarah, thank you for that live report. And new at 6, with the unemployment rate going up, the need for food is rising as well. And the food banks of Western Mass, they need your help with donations. Western Mass News reporter Leon Purvis is live for us in Hatfield with more. Leon.
Chris, here at the food bank, they've seen a 23% increase in need last month compared to last year. Now, they don't expect things to change for the better anytime soon.
That isn't a surprise given that unemployment claims are skyrocketing. We expect to see that we'll be distributing even more food in the months to come.
The Food Bank of Western Massachusetts Executive Director Andrew Morehouse tells Western Mass News they're keeping up with the demand with help from area businesses and foundations. And money is expected from the federal government in July. The food bank does not accept in-person donations, but online giving is encouraged.
Your dollar will stretch a lot farther by making a cash donation to us so that we can buy food at wholesale prices instead of your buying them at retail prices.
Morehouse says every dollar can equal 4 meals. He stresses during this difficult time, anyone could use that free meal.
I think it's really important for people to know that there should not be any stigma associated with seeking food assistance, particularly in this time of great need. Clearly, there's a public health crisis.
We'll have more information on how you can donate at westernmassnews.com. Live in Hatfield, Leon Purvis, Western Mass News.
Leon, thank you. And for more coverage on the coronavirus pandemic as it continues to develop, just log on to our free Western Mass News streaming app.
We started off with some sunshine early on. The clouds have certainly built on in. Not much traffic there on the viaduct. Our temperatures are still in the middle 50s, below average for this time of year. 50 degrees in Worthington and Blandford, 54 in Northampton and Springfield. But I think overall, it's not a bad way to start the work week, especially with what's coming heading into tomorrow. Our satellite radar shows the clouds. Franklin County actually picking up a little bit more sunshine than we are here in Springfield. But all being said, we are dry at least. There's our cold front that's going to really change things around for tomorrow and into Wednesday with a shot of cold air. It's going to be short-lived, but it will definitely pack a punch as it does move through. So we're starting out dry. There's the initial raindrops. Tuesday, we'll call it midday, and then by the time we get to about 3 o'clock, we're watching this area, this front push through. Could be associated with some gusty wind, some torrential rain, and even some thunder and lightning. We'll have to watch this one closely, but it's out of here as soon as it arrives. It's a quick mover, that's for sure. We're back to clear skies, chilly and windy heading into Tuesday evening. So tonight, a frosty night, 30 for an overnight low, clear and chilly, and tomorrow, we do have some changing weather, certainly. Midday storms likely, and also wind gusting 35 plus miles per hour. Highs getting back into the middle 50s. We're hitting this approximately noontime or so, and then as the front blows through the chillier air, you'll start to feel that. We do have a lot to talk about, including the unsettled week ahead. Those details in just a few. Chris, back to you.
Jacob, thanks. It's a story Western Mass News has been covering since last week. The man accused of attempted arson at a Jewish-sponsored assisted living facility in Longmeadow is back in federal custody. The U.S. Attorney's Office says John Michael Rathbun is being held after U.S. District Judge Mark Mastriani overruled a federal appeals judge. Rathbun was released last Friday, one day after his arrest. The release of the East Longmeadow resident was due at least in part to the COVID-19 pandemic. Investigators say Rathbun's responsible for a homemade incendiary device that was found at the entrance to Ruth's house back on April 2nd.